welterweight world champion who's only lost once as a welterweight on a 4-fight winning streak. But he's attempting to regain the welterweight world championship this weekend, live from Las Vegas vis-a-vis Sheffield, England. It's a special one. Kell Brook joining us on the call. Kell, can you hear us? Hold on, ask Kell to unmute. Just 1 second.
I've done it, yeah. Can you hear me now?
There he is. Hey, Kay, welcome to the call, Mr. Kell Brook. I know you've answered this question a lot, but for everybody here, you're coming into this fight with a lot to prove. You haven't been on this championship stage in a few years. So what can the world expect from Kell Brook now that maybe they haven't seen you on this stage in a little bit?
I expect fireworks. I've been here before, been on this stage. I've been in there with pound for pound top fighters in Golovkin and Errol Spence. I ripped the title away from Sean Porter in America. I know what it takes to be champion.
Thank you very much, Kell. And we've got a bunch of people in the chat. So again, raise your hands to ask questions or privately message me, and I'll get to as many questions as possible. So we are going to start with J.R. Bell. J.R., please unmute and ask question when ready, sir.
All right there, Kell. Given the thing here with the circumstances about travel restrictions, if I'm not mistaken, you don't have your head trainer available. So how is it not having your head trainer coming over to Las Vegas for this particular fight?
It's been, listen, the job is going to get done regardless, and I'm in with a super top trainer who's going to be one of the best trainers in the world after I beat Terence and Carlos Fermento. We've been going through the game plan day in, day out. We know what we need to do in this fight. And I'm fit, I'm lean, I'm a fighting machine ready to go. And I've been working every day on what I need to do against someone like Terence. So, you know, I've been in this sport for 25 years. I know what I need to do, you know what I mean? I've been world champion. I know what it takes to be the best. So, you know, I'm ready to go.
Thank you very much. And now we go to Cameron Wolf from ESPN.com. Cameron, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Kell, what's up, man? Obviously, you're confident you can win this fight. So what do you think a fight looks like on Saturday if it's going well for you?
It's about just getting into my rhythm, being positive, you know, and, you know, I've got the accuracy, I've got the size, I've got everything what it takes to be champion. I've got the desire, and I've got the power to, you know, to overwhelm Crawford and get into my rhythm.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Cameron. Now we go ahead to the UK with Pep Talk in the UK. I'm asking you to unmute. Please unmute and then ask your question when ready.
Yo, how you doing?
How are we doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I've got to ask you, your old nemesis, Amir Khan, is wishing you good luck come the weekend. What do you make of his comments?
I don't know what to say. You know, he changes his mind one day to the next. You know, it's a positive message. I can't say anything negative, you know, but I'm not focused on what people are saying because, you know, most of them are negative. As long as what my immediate team around here think and what job we need to do, and that's to become victorious Saturday night. So that's the main thing.
Thank you very much, Pep Talk. We are going to go to now Keith Idek from Boxing Scene. Keith, go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell, do you think in some ways that Amir was saying what he said because if you win, it's obviously better for you two to fight in a bigger fight in the UK?
There's always something up his sleeve. I'm not focused on Amir Khan. I'm focused on Terence Crawford, you know. So let's talk Terence.
Ian aired something last night that debuted in the United States in which Terence Crawford was asked to list his bucket list, so to speak, of welterweights he would like to fight before he retires. He listed 4 people, and your name was not one of them. How much motivation does that provide to you that he's not even really talking about you, so to speak, when you're fighting him on Saturday?
He's going to have a rude awakening, I'll tell you that. He's going to have a rude awakening on Saturday night when he gets in there. He's going to know real quick, real fast in the fight that, you know, he should have put me on top of that list.
Do you think, and I know Terence is obviously a smart guy and arguably the best fighter in the world, but do you think in some way he's overlooking you in any way?
Yeah, I hope he is. I hope he is. Because I'm coming with force. Trust me.
Thank you, Kell.
Thank you. And wow, I didn't realize that Kell Brook was fighting Amir Khan this week. And Terence fought him in April 2019. So let's please keep the questions to the fight at hand, folks. The fight at hand, not Amir Khan, if possible. So now we go to Ryan Elliott. Ryan, please unmute and go ahead.
Hi, Kel. Thank you for your time. Just a quick one from me. How significant is it for you going into this fight not having that rehydration clause for a big welterweight such as yourself?
You know, to be honest with you, on our made weight this time, it's not that much of a big deal, but I suppose it is a big deal, to be honest with you, because I don't want to be thinking about watching my water and watching my food intake. You know, I just want to weigh in and relax and then concentrate on the fight instead of concentrate on making the weight again. So it's going to be something different to making welterweight and then just focusing on Terence Crawford instead of the weight check.
Thank you very much. And now we go ahead to Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready.
Great. Thank you very much, Evan. It's actually perfect timing. Kell, I did want to ask, what was the biggest change that you made in training camp to ensure that you're able to make welterweight, since this is your first welterweight fight in 3 years?
You know, losing weeks, you know, just being around Sheffield and losing weeks, just not really full, you know, being around my surroundings, what I'm normally used to, and just, you know, not being as strict as I could be on the diet. What I did when I knew that I needed to get away as soon as possible to Fort Ventura, where when I'm waking up and I know that my girls aren't around me, and I'm waking up in a different country knowing that I'm going to the gym and I'm doing it for a reason. You know, I made sure that the training were hard and the dieting were hard from the first week I knew this fight were on.
Okay, great. Thanks. Good to have you back, Kell. Best of luck this weekend.
Thank you, Jake.
Thank you.
And now we go ahead. Carlos Toro, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
Hey, Cal, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. You know, obviously kind of going off a little bit of Jake's question. Going back to just making the adjustments and heading down to welterweight, when it comes down to now having to deal with the bubble and everything that comes with the current pandemic situation that we got going on, how much different and how difficult has it been to kind of get everything just situated, done, and also having to go down to welterweight with it being your first fight in that weight?
You know, I like I said, I started early, so I had in the plan getting ill. These kind of situations, I made time early doors just for in case I got ill or in case these kind of things happen. So we're well ahead, you know, and everybody's making weight. Everyone's in the same, you know, doing the same thing. You know, everyone's finding it tough with this COVID, but I'm in a great place in my mind, and the weight is fantastic for this fight. So forget the weight. The weight's made.
Thanks, Cal. Best of luck on Saturday.
And thank you, Carlos. And we go ahead back to the UK. Jonathan Nagoff. Jonathan, please unmute when ready, sir.
Hey, Kyle. John here from Pro Boxing Fans. Hope you're well. Where would a win over Terence Crawford firstly rank compared to your victory over Sean Porter? And secondly, just a message to the UK fans tuning in on Premier Sports on Saturday night.
Yeah, I think it's got to be above the Sean Porter just for everything I've been through, everyone writing me off. I think you've got to put it up there because this is the pound for pound best fighter in the world, you know, and you've got to put it as number one. You know, nobody's done that in history from Britain. And I'm glad that all the fans are able to see it on Premier Sport, like you said. You know, they're going to stay up and enjoy me becoming two-time world champion.
Thank you very much, Jonathan. And we go ahead to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir. Oh, one more. I actually got unmuted one more time, Ernesto. I accidentally muted you. Ernesto?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Thank you, Ernesto.
Kell, it's always a pleasure to have a conversation with you. Let me ask you one question. For most of the fighters, it looks impossible against Crawford, but not for you. Could you explain this? Because I truly believe that you can be a nightmare.
Yeah, listen, my style, I can box orthodox, southpaw, you know, I've got great balance, great timing. I'm a big welterweight, the power's there, the mindset's there, so I'm definitely, a fighter, what is a very scary fighter. When I'm on point and I'm feeling the way I am, I'm dangerous for any fighter in any weight division in the world. So, I'm very focused, and this is my moment now. And, I'll be able to compete with the best, and you'll see me from round one, take control of this fight.
Thank you very much. And now we go back to Gaz from behind the gloves. Gaz, please unmute and ask your question when ready, sir.
Hey, Kell, it's Gaz from behind the gloves. A few people have touched on it already, but you're a big welterweight. You're bigger than Crawford. You're broader than Crawford. Do you think that your size is going to play a factor in this fight? And were you actively looking to put those chocolate brownies on?
Yeah, them chocolate brownies are definitely brewing up. They're cooking up nicely now, and I am the bigger guy, and it's everything. It's all about preparation, and the hard work's done before the bright lights. So I've been grueling it out for months, dieting hard for months, and you'll see the hard work what I've put in. Come Saturday night, you'll see the shape of me on the scale. You'll see me refueled, relaxed, and ready to let them brownies go.
Okay, thank you very much. I can't believe it took us 15 minutes for a chocolate brownie reference. So, Gaz, you are the MVP of this call so far. Thank you very much, sir. Next, we go to Cynthia Conte from Ring TV. Cynthia, you should be unmuted, so please go ahead when ready. Cynthia, you're unmuted. Cynthia, please go ahead.
Kell, I know that you've had some incredible wars against Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin, and unfortunately, you suffered 2 orbital broken bones. Many people thought you would retire after those fights, after those wars. What was that conversation you had to have with yourself, with your trainer, and with your family to come back and step into the ring because your health was at hand?
Hey, I think I don't, Kell, I don't know if you heard that, but I think she mentioned after those 2 losses, the conversations you had with your team and your family about continuing your career.
I did have them conversations, but this is the game I love and hate. It's all I know. It cleans my mind when I go into the gym and train and let them endorphins off, and it's me living, and I love competing with the best. So once we're healed, and my mindset were right, I felt strong. Just like I do. I feel strong now. I don't really think about the breaks, and I feel that I know that I'm stronger than ever. So it's right over my head now. I know that my surgeon, Dr. Muhammad Ali, looked after me very well, and they called me the Terminator now. So I'm ready to walk through walls now.
Thank you very much, Cynthia. Next, we go to Jay Lee from secondhouse.com. You are unmuted, so please ask your question when ready.
Hi, Kell, I hope you're right, mate. Jolie from Seconds out here. Just as you're aware, I'm sure this is one of the biggest fights, if not the biggest fight of your career. Being as that you're going to leave everything on the line on Saturday night, of course, is there a chance that metaphorically you're going to leave your career on the line and in the ring on Saturday night?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Metaphorically, you're going to leave everything in the ring on Saturday night and also your boxing career?
No, I'm not going to leave my boxing career because I'm going to become victorious, and I'm going to be fighting Terence Crawford, be coming to England for rematch. So looks like I'll be fighting again, won't I, for you to see, actually. You won't have to travel.
Yes. Look forward.
Oh, sorry. I apologize. My apologies for the premature mute there, Mr. Lee. I apologize for that. Again, everybody, to ask a question, please go to the raise hand function or send me a direct message on the queue down below. Or if you can't figure those out, just shoot me a text message, and I will get to as many of you as possible. It looks like Jonathan Nagoff from Pro Boxing Fans has another question. So Jonathan, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Yeah, Kel, I spoke to Johnny Nelson and he said that Kell Brook doesn't take himself away to Future Ventura for nothing, and that going out there, you're going to be concentrated and fully focused on this fight. But he said that you have to be at your best for 12 rounds to win this. What have you made? What have you ensured to? What have you done to ensure that you're going to be at your best on Saturday night to beat Terence Crawford?
You know, I've got to do absolutely everything right. I'm fighting the best pound for pound fighter, so you'd have to be an absolute idiot to not prepare fuller. So I've been meticulous with my training, and I've been making sure I'm the first one in the gym and the last one out, and putting the hard work in. Where fighters, want to stop, I keep going forward. So, I've got in reserves for this fight, and I've been watching my weight, and just being focused, being away from my girls and knowing what I'm doing it for. And, I'm fully focused on this fight. I've never been ready for a fight like this before. So I'm happy, and I'm looking forward to whatever Terence brings, because I can match him. I'm ready for a war.
Do you believe you stop Terence Crawford on Saturday night?
I believe I stop him, or he quits on stool.
Cheers, Kell.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jonathan. I'm looking. We've got a couple more questions. In the queue. So just hold on one second while I get to the next question. Looks like JR Bell has one more question. So JR, please go ahead.
Now, given this fight against Terence Crawford, and a lot of people are talking about him being the top pound for pound guy, but you have faced a couple of guys that have been either listed in the pound for pound list or are in the list, in Errol Spence and Gennady Golovkin. So in this particular fight, what are you going to do in there to show that you are among one of the skilled fighters in the welterweight division?
I'm gonna have to show something I've never shown, and the preparation. Like Muhammad Ali says, before the bright lights, the hard work was in before the bright lights. So I'm fully prepared. Terence Crawford has never been in with a welterweight, the size and the confidence and everything that I own. He's not been in with Golovkin and Errol Spence, these pound for pound champions. He's never been in with anybody. And I'm prepared better than I did against these guys, and I'm fully healthy and ready. So, he knows he's in a massive fight. He knows he's gonna have his hands full. He knows this is self.
And Kell, before we get to the next question, tell everybody, a lot of times when people travel from long distances for training camp, there's concern, they did not come, far enough time to acclimate. How many weeks have you spent in Las Vegas? When did you arrive, and how long did it take you to fully acclimate to sort of the Western time zone, and being 8 hours behind from where you came from?
It takes me about 10 days, and I'm there now. I'm feeling tired at 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sleeping all the way through till 7, 8 morning, like I did back in England. So my body clock's adjusted to the Vegas time now. So everything's on point. The sleeping, my body clock's there. Everything is there. What's needed to win this fight.
Thank you very much for that, Kell. We have a couple more questions, and I know you got to get to training, so we will let you get to that, which is most important at this late juncture of training camp. Gail, please go. You're up, so please go ahead when ready.
Thank you very much, Kell. A lot of this discussion has brought up questions that indicate the doubters that are out there. Do you use that doubt to fuel you, much like you had doubters before you fought Sean Porter and you were able to take the win there? Do you turn that into a positive for yourself?
Big dog. You've got a big dog there like me. Big dog, ain't you? Listen, them doubters, they're the ones what I can see certain people doubting me and calling me out, who I know as well, and they're the ones what make me want to do that extra round and push on harder, because I can't wait to see them after the fight. I can't wait to see them when I'm crowned the champion, of the world. And again, and I'm not just a normal champion. I want that Ring Magazine belt. I want to be the best fighter pound for pound in the world. I want to take his title there. There's a long stake for me, and I've got the pressure is on myself to go out there and be great.
Thank you very much, Gail. And now the dog has stolen the show. That was impressive. Next week, a couple more questions. We're going to go back to the UK. Our friends at Boxing UK. You should unmute, so please go ahead when ready.
Hi, Kell. It's Steve from Boxing UK.
How you doing, Steve?
Hello, mate. Kell, if you pull this off at the weekend, it's going to go down as one of the greatest performances abroad by a Brit. Are you disappointed that the TV coverage over here isn't what it should be for such a big fight?
I'm disappointed. I've been with Sky Sports for years. They've seen me fight, become world champion. They've seen me being in some thrillers. And it's a shame that they're not picking this fight up. But you've got to spin it into a positive. It's going to be on Premier Sports. All the fans are going to be able to see it still, but the platform would have been the best on Sky, wouldn't it?
It would have, mate. And you've already touched on the answer to the next one. If you do the job, is there a rematch clause, and would you bring them back over to the UK?
The rematch clause, and you'll be able to see it, won't you?
Good man. Do you still love the Geordies?
Still love the Geordies.
Good lad. Kell, best of luck on Saturday, mate.
Top man.
Hey, thank you very much for that. And as a reminder to our great fans in the UK, it is available on Premier Sports 1 sometime, I guess late Saturday night / early Sunday morning. So a reminder everybody in the UK that it's on a subscription cable network over there in the UK. So anybody who wants to watch it will have the opportunity to do so. Cal, before I let you go, any final thoughts as you head into your last week of training camp and as we are now, I guess, 5 days out from the biggest fight of your career?
Yeah, my mind's focused now on training on the game plan and executing the game plan this Saturday night.
Is that better?
Much better, Terence. Much better. Thank you, Terence. All right. So, hey, Keith, can you? We're going to go back. We're going to resume back to where we are, back to where we were. Keith, please go ahead. If you could re-ask the question you did, because I don't think we all heard Terence's answer. So, Keith, please go ahead when ready.
I think all I had asked him was he surprised that Kell Brook said what he said about making him quit or stopping him in the fight?
I was saying, no, not really. You're supposed to feel that way coming into one of the biggest fights of his career. He's not the only opponent that went into the fight believing that they was going to stop me or knock me out. So that's nothing new for me. He's just going to have to live up to his words.
Thanks, Terence.
Thank you very much, Keith. Let's see who else. Wait, now we go over to the UK with Pep Talk, our friends over there. So please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Hey, what's going on?
Terence, Kell Brook has questioned your credentials at 147 pounds and says that you've not fought anyone of note. Would you make of his comments?
Well, I'm fighting him, so that's all that matters. If he feels I never fought nobody at 147 or I don't have any credibility, then this should be a cakewalk for him.
You've been out the ring for almost a year. Is it a bit risky going back in the ring with a well-decorated fighter in Kell Brook at 147 pounds?
Not at all.
Former world champion.
Not at all. Not at all. I'm great. I feel good. I feel strong. I can fight at the end of the day. So being out the ring is not going to affect me or hurt me in any way, shape, or form.
Thank you very much. And again, please use the raise hand button or send a private message on the chat if you'd like to ask Terence a question. So now we go back to the UK. Jonathan Nagyoff. Jonathan from Pro Boxing Fans, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, Terence. Where do you rank Kell Brook in terms of the opponents you've faced in your whole career, and how long has Kell Brook been on your radar for?
Well, I actually can't rate him because I've never been in a ring with him yet. And actually, he never was on my radar from the jump. You know, this was a fight that he wanted, that he kept calling for, and you know, once the Pacquiao fight didn't fall through, he was the next option, given that the circumstances of COVID and whatnot. So, you know, I must have been on his radar. He never was on my radar, but he's on my radar now, and we fighting this weekend. That's what it is.
All right, thank you very much. And now we move ahead to Sean Zattel from Fight Hype. Sean, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence. I know from speaking with you in the past, you were talking about getting into, you were enforcing more exchanges or allowing more exchanges to happen, trying to please the fans, be in fights that please the fans. And do you want to, and then you talked about maybe getting more back to boxing heading into this next fight. Is that what we see with Brook? I mean, we know you've been boxing brilliant, but are you going to try and pitch more of a shutout performance, or still go ahead and, let those exchanges rattle off so you can go for the knockout? Or
Well, I'm gonna do me. Once I get in the ring and assess my opponent, and once the fight get going, then I'm gonna do me. If the knockout comes, it comes. If it don't, then we prepared to go 12 hard rounds.
Did you get a chance to see his last fight when he knocked out a fighter, Mark DeLuca? And what'd you think of that fight, if you got a chance to see it?
I actually didn't get to see it. So,
how do you think too much is being made about the losses he's had in his past against Spence and Golovkin heading into this fight?
Yeah, I'm not worried about people trying to say he washed up or trying to downgrade him. I use that as a distraction. I'm prepared for the best Kell Brook that we possibly can prepare for come Saturday. And we're going to be ready for whichever Kell shows up this week.
If he does show up in that form, like he did against, Golovkin and Spence, what kind of fight do you think of it as in your head? How do you see it playing out?
It's going to be a good fight, but who knows? I'm sharp as a razor right now, so we're going to see.
Hey, well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sean. Let's see who else we have over here in the chat queue. So we're going to go back. Terence, very popular in the UK since his days against Ricky Burns. We go to Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please go ahead when ready, sir.
Hey, Terence, it's Gaz from Behind. It's been mentioned already that Kell Brook's fought Golovkin, Spence, where he's given a really good account of himself. Is there anything Kell Brook does that worries you?
Not at all. I didn't see it at all. Given that Kell Brook has fought a lot of good opponents.
Sorry, I'm having trouble with the connection. Please try again in a moment.
What's that?
I think that was on Gaz's end. So, sorry, you were mentioning about Kell Brook.
No, I was just saying, we're gonna be ready for whatever. Like, I'm not focused or worried about any of that Kell Brook, gonna bring to the table, because I'm gonna adjust to whatever it is that he does. Stop.
I guess now Terence is outside, so we go ahead to Jake Donovan from Boxing Scene. Jake, please go ahead when ready.
Thank you very much, Evan. I have the same question for Terence and for Todd. It's about Relentless. Terence, I just wanted to know what you thought of seeing the shoulder programming going into this fight, and how it feels to have that kind of attention, that big fight attention, without it having to be a pay-per-view.
I don't know. The content to be out there. I feel like it should always be out there, whether it's a pay-per-view or not. I consider this a big fight for boxing fans, and yeah.
Okay, very cool. Thanks, Terence. I appreciate it. And Todd, if you can kind of answer the same question, just how important is it for for Top Rank's best pound-for-pound fighter to get this type of attention?
Well, I mean, this is obviously, it's one of our priorities is constantly keeping it going and keeping the awareness and getting Terence Crawford as mainstream as possible. And I think we can all talk about in the boxing world how great he is, and we all live in a little, and sometimes a little world. And our job as his promoter and our job is to make him as big as possible. And when we bring him to the biggest platforms, and the biggest network, when he's showing in his fights and they do big numbers, those are terrific. We have obviously, you saw Relentless. It was part of the, I think in Terrence's last fight, we had blood, sweat, and tears. These are shows that we produce in house. I think, and Terence can speak on it. I think Andre and Terence have a really good interaction. We saw that back in December when they sat down for a talk. And so when we did Relentless, I think the two of them feed off each other really well. And I think you get the best out of Terence there. And then we're going to have real time this week. So we'll have weekly posts of everything going on and content being circulated everywhere to drive awareness. And this is what our job is. And then it's Terrence's job to come off the way he is and show people in the ring the night before and show people outside of the ring, who he is and what makes him so special.
Thank you so much, Todd. Terence, best of luck this weekend. Good to have you back in the ring.
Thank you, Jake. And now we go to Eric Woodyard.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now we go to Eric Woodyard from ESPN.com. Eric, please go ahead when ready.
Hey, what's up, Terence? How you doing, man? You look around at boxing right now. You look around at boxing right now. You see the lighter division. You see what Tank doing, and a lot of the just star-making performances that's been going around. Obviously, you've been getting TKOs and KOs and the things you've been doing. Do you feel any urgency to close the show in any type of way to really just obviously you big, like we just mentioned, big in boxing, but just to get that star-making performance as far as mainstream, do you feel a way that you have to win this fight a certain way to really cross over?
Not at all. Not at all. Me, how I go about fights is just make sure you get the win, no matter how they come. So I'm not going out there to try to outdo a previous performance or any other fighter. My thing is just to go out there and make sure I get the win and secure that first, and everything else can come second. If the knockout's there, of course I'm going to go out there and take it. But if it's not, then like I said before, we prepare for 12 hard rounds.
Is this a fun time in boxing for you right now? Just looking around at just all the young talent, is this a fun time to be a part of the sport right now?
It's always been a fun time to be a part of the sport. I couldn't think of a time when it wasn't.
All right, thank you very much. And now we stay in Las Vegas. Sam Gordon from the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Sam, please unmute and go ahead when ready, sir.
Terence, thank you for the time today. Really appreciate it. A couple quick questions for you. With all this talk about, the mainstream and you being in the mainstream, I was just curious, right now, when you go out, say when you're out in public and when you're with your family in public, do you get approached and stopped a lot? Do people recognize you as arguably the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? You get a lot of attention like that?
Of course. Everywhere I go, people come up to me, say, "Yo, that's Terence Crawford. That's the best fighter in the world." It doesn't matter where I be. I done been all over the world, all across in different countries, and they still notice me. And that just let me know where I stand in the sport of boxing today.
Do you enjoy getting that kind of attention?
Yeah, it's cool. Sometimes, like when you're out with your family and you're eating, and one person want a picture and you don't want to seem like an asshole, you tell them, yeah, then next thing you know, you got 50 people lined up to take a picture with you. It kind of get irritating, but at the same time, this is what we do it for. And without the fans, there's no us. So, it just comes with the territory.
Absolutely. And then the last thing for me, Terence, at this stage of your career, with everything you've accomplished and with the way you've accomplished it, what is your biggest motivation at this stage? What do you want to prove? What do you want to showcase? What drives you at this stage of your career to continue being the number one boxer in the world?
Just showing everybody that I'm the best, just competing. That's it. Just proving all the doubters wrong and all the naysayers that I'm the best fighter in the world.
Thank you very much, Sam. And now we go back across the pond to our friends over at Boxing UK. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. It's Steve from Boxing UK. Terence, one of the things Kell said is you haven't faced anyone like him in the past. What do you think Kell brings to the table that you might not have encountered before?
Well, he never faced nobody like me, so he can say I never faced nobody like him, and I can say he never faced nobody like me. And I don't know what he brings to the table because I haven't been there. I haven't been in the ring with him. So we shall see come this week what he brings to the table.
Just moving forward, Terence, over the weekend, Bob Arum said that he was looking for fights against Manny Pacquiao and Errol Spence. But one of our pound for pounds, Josh Taylor, over the weekend said he would fight you tomorrow. What do you think of that? And if you could pick one, who would you want?
I would pick Manny Pacquiao. Josh Taylor still got unfinished business at 140. He shouldn't be thinking about me right now. He should be thinking about Ramirez.
Thank you very much from our friends over in the UK. And let's see who else we have. We got a bunch more in the queue. So let's go to Ernesto Amador. Ernesto, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thank you. Hey, Terence, maybe this is going to sound crazy for you, but a lot of Mexicans, they put you in the number one of pound for pound instead of Canelo. What is the meaning for you that a lot of Mexicans put you in this place? And if you see in the future, if you grow in weight division, a fight with the Mexican warrior?
Well, that just shows, that a lot of people respect me for what I've accomplished in the sport of boxing. And, Canelo is a tremendous talent. And, I respect everybody's opinion. And now I don't never think me and Canelo will fight. He's, 168, 175. I'm just 147. So I'll never see that fight ever really happen.
Very much. And now we go to Josh Katzowitz from Forbes. Josh, please unmute and ask your question when ready.
Hey, Terence. Talked to Errol Spence last week, and he said he thought that if a fight between you guys didn't happen in 2021, he didn't think it was going to happen at all. Wondering what you thought about that, and if you thought, obviously, I know you're not looking ahead past Kell Brook, but if it doesn't happen with a fight with Spence doesn't happen in 2021, do you think it's just kind of going to go by the wayside?
Yeah, it might, but like I said, I never really felt like I really needed Errol Spence for my legacy or my career. I've accomplished so much in the sport of boxing that, I really didn't need him. Yes, I needed them for my legacy at the welterweight division and becoming a two-time undisputed champion in two different weight classes. But if that fight don't happen, I don't feel like, it hurt my legacy. It just hurt the legacy of the welterweight division.
All right. Thank you very much, Josh. I know we have a bunch of people asking questions. The council got to get back to it. So we'll probably have time for a couple of more before we sign off. So again, anybody wants to raise hands or message me in the private message down below, and we will get to you. We're going to go back to the UK with Gaz from Behind the Gloves. Gaz, please unmute and go ahead.
Hey, Terence, I didn't really hear your answer before because my internet dropped out. But just going back to the point Does Kell do anything that worries you? In beating Kell, if he's successful on Saturday night, would it be your best win at welterweight?
Given that Kell is a former champion, I wouldn't say that's my biggest win. You know, I still view the Jeff Horn fight as my biggest welterweight win, being that he was coming off a upset victory with Manny Pacquiao. You know, so I feel like, you know, he was the champion at the time. Kell Brook had nothing to lose, a lot to gain. So he really had nothing to offer me but a name. So no, I wouldn't say that's my biggest victory at welterweight.
Thanks, Terence.
Thank you. And next we go to Mr. Lee from Seconds Out. So please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Hi, Terence. How are you?
What's going on?
Good, good. I was just wondering what you think ahead of Spence's fight on December the 5th. Do you think he's going to come out there with the victory?
I don't know. I'm not even focused on what they got going on. I'm focused on my fight this weekend. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Looks like we have a couple more. Gal, please unmute and go ahead when ready.
Thanks very much. We'll try to get through this one without another dog barking. Terence, you got quite a compound there in Nebraska. It seems almost like a team atmosphere. Do you consider that a big advantage to you? And is anything altered that during COVID?
I wouldn't say it's an advantage, because at the end of the day, when you get in that ring, can't nobody fight for you. Yes, it's always beautiful with everybody cheering for you and rooting for you, but at the end of the day, you know, we all fighters. We done been in places where everybody booing us and still came out on top. So it just, you know, that warm feeling of having everybody cheer for you and motivate you. But at the end of the day, you still got to fight.
Well, you took a lot of trouble to go to the bubble to see your buddy, Sergeant Herring. So you expect him ringside?
Oh, for sure. You know, I expect him and Steven Nelson to be ringside.
Good luck to you, Terence.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gal. And I know my apologies. We're not going to get to all the questions for Terence. Terence does have to run, so I do apologize for that. Terence, any closing thoughts as you're one day away from the bubble? And anything else you'd like to say to the fans out there who are going to be watching Saturday night on ESPN and Premier Sports in the UK?
I would like to thank everybody that support Terence Crawford and Team Crawford. Looking forward to this weekend, and I hope everybody tune in and watch for a good show. And I'm looking forward to putting on a great performance.
Well, thank you, Terence. I'm sure, as always, you will put on a spectacular show. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. And to remember, Saturday night, 10 p.m., ESPN and ESPN Deportes, undercard, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. And also for our great UK fans, Premier Sports. You can watch it live there as well. Thank you, everybody, and you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.